West Palm Beach police officer Wilpidio Pinto spends his days seeking out and connecting with the homeless.
I drive around and I look for people. I have areas I know where they hang out, and I go there.
The 54-year-old Pinto, who's been on the force nearly 30 years, was recently assigned to the newly created position of homeless outreach officer.
You know, I'm not out here to give you a hard time. You know, I'm the homeless outreach guy.
Many of those Officer Pinto deals with on a daily basis are stuck in a cycle of substance abuse, in particular opioids, part of a nationwide crisis.
Why are you really out here? I mean, it's because
of
your pill problem. Drug problem?
Yes.
Pills?
Yeah.
And then there are those who may be mentally ill.
How you doing, sweetheart?
In some cases, he could arrest many of those he comes into contact with for panhandling, trespassing, or possibly drug possession. But instead, Pinto usually talks to the people he approaches about what they might do to start changing their lives, handing them cards with contact information for a number of service agencies that could offer a helping hand.
Hey, buddy. What's going on?
Pinto says it's often an uphill battle to get homeless people to accept help.
And one day you're going to break down and you're going to say yes to me. All right?
All right.
All right, Marcus.
But from time to time, Pinto does get through to the people he serves on the street. He says it takes patience, but it does happen.
Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, maybe next month, but eventually they all come around.
I had 18 months clean at one point, and then I had relapsed.
Can't give up. I'm going to give you a card here, okay? And it's got some numbers here, okay?
This is Sheryl Kahn reporting for WPB TV. In a scene repeated all over the country, some 1,200 students from Dreyfus School of the Arts walked out of class and marched to West Palm Beach City Hall, where they crowded into the courtyard to rally against gun violence, vowing to stop the killing that claimed the lives of 17 students and teachers at nearby Stoneman Douglas High School.
An experience shouldn't be watching classmates get murdered.
The teens were joined by the mayor, who promised to fight for legislation that would keep them safe.
Enough is enough, and no more of our children will be killed.
In an afternoon filled with speeches, poetry, music, and tears, the students called for concrete steps to stop the violence, saying thoughts and prayers are not enough.
Thoughts and prayers are not enough. Thoughts and prayers are not enough.
We don't need any more thoughts and prayers. We need action and change.
As for the push by President Trump to arm teachers, these kids say they can't imagine that in any classroom, but especially not in their school, where half their time is spent studying subjects like music, theater, and dance.
I go to an art school and I see these teachers as artists, people who are creative, passionate people. They don't want to carry on a Glock, and I don't want to see them with a Glock.
And those who will be old enough to vote say they'll be sure to get to the polls during the next election to make some big changes before one more school experiences one more tragedy. This is Sheryl Kahn reporting for WPB TV. It's been 20 years since we've seen spring training in West Palm Beach, and now with the opening of the newest Major League Baseball facility in the country, it's finally back. The ballpark of the Palm Beaches, with a price tag of about $150 million, is hosting two teams, the Washington Nationals and Houston Astros. On the Astros' first full squad workout day, there was high praise for the ballpark.
It's a gorgeous facility. It's certainly the best that I've ever trained in.
The park is attracting not only locals but also snowbirds and tourists who made the trip to see spring training up close. Some say they don't even care who's playing because just being out here is pure joy.
How's it going? Good.
But others do have favorite players, like 12-year-old Joe Estevez, who lives nearby. Joe came here with his dad and sister on a mission to get an autograph from
Jose Altuve, because he's a good inspiration to me, because he's one of the shortest guys in baseball. But it doesn't matter how tall he is or how strong he is. He plays really good, and he plays with all his heart.
Joe wasn't the only one seeking out the popular player.
Give him a
But he was not easily discouraged.
One! Just one, please!
And finally, Joe got what he came for.
Jose Altuve, I finally got him.
What did he say? Was he nice?
Yeah, well, he was kind of walking, and he did it really quick.
And while fans like Joe are enjoying the thrill of meeting Major League Baseball players and catching foul balls they get to keep.
You caught those yourself?
For some local residents, the return of spring training means new jobs, at least for a couple of months.
Because that's nice and be easy and they'll take care of you.
Many of the ballpark's ushers are retired, but they're more than happy to go back to work when the office looks like this. So here you are.
At the stadium, why not?
Why not, indeed. This is Sheryl Kahn reporting for WPB TV. These new recruits, most of them hired with the help of a $160,000 grant from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, are taking part in West Palm Beach Fire and Rescue's Fire Ground Survival Program.
I lost the hose line.
It's designed to get them out of tight spots they may find themselves in while fighting fires when there's no one else around to help.
Go ahead with your mayday.
Crawling under tangled wires, chopping holes in the walls of smoke-filled burning buildings, squeezing through tight spots impeded by heavy, bulky equipment. It's frustrating and frightening, but it could save their lives.
We have drop ceilings in commercial buildings. We have electrical wiring in our homes. We have furnishings. You get tangled up in those things and you potentially run out of air and you'll potentially lose your life in the structure.
That's something 37-year-old recruit Coles Colas, a former football player and married father of two, doesn't take lightly.
For me, being a bigger guy, it's hard to be in those tight spaces and not have much movement. So at times you're gonna have to bear down and get your mind right and calm your breathing and relax and wiggle yourself in the right position so you can get yourself through.
Colas and his 22 fellow recruits are learning how to do that and much more during 3.5 months of intensive training.
They learned what we call suppression or firefighting, which includes all of the hose work, ladders, tools, equipment. They also learn all the extrication skills, which would be the jaws of life most people are aware of.
As EMTs, or in some cases paramedics, they also learn how to treat and transport patients. They're being taught by seasoned firefighters with at least 10 years' experience who know the ropes. That gives them confidence as they begin their new careers.
Being afraid never crossed my mind because I know they're going to give me all the tools that I need when the time comes.
The recruits will complete a year of probation at various firehouses around the city. They'll be evaluated daily by supervisors and peers who are looking for certain qualities that make them suited for the job.
A genuine desire to do the job and help people.
Coles Colas says he definitely has that desire because while he thought playing football was a dream come true, to him, being a firefighter means so much more.
Football, you lose a game and you go home, you pout about it and that's the end of it. But here, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, somebody may get hurt and somebody may die and that's a big deal.
This is Sheryl Kahn reporting for WPB TV.